Yes.
Okay. So, hello everybody. Geez, got a lot of people here. Sorry, I just got on the call. I thought it was actually 10:32. Did I miss Shree's talk this morning?
Just did, unfortunately, but we do have it recorded, so you'll be able to
Ah,
catch it later.
I actually got the pleasure of meeting Shree last night, and I was going to show you a great picture of him, but I didn't upload it to my computer. It's still on my phone. So, but we met for the first time last night. So, want to talk about the Informix 14.0 test. It is no longer called a certification for both Informix and DB2, LUW DB2, that is. It's actually called a badge. It's got to do with the ability to that we've done is we've co-hosting it with the user groups. So IIUG is co-hosting it, and it gives them the ability to do it as they please at user group events and do it virtually. And the same thing with iDoug with TV2. So that was the reason why it was changed from a certification to calling it a badge. For those that are partners and they're concerned about if you're a partner, I'll tell you guys a little secret. If you're a partner, you get a little extra percentage when you go sell the product. So it does count for that. So if you're a partner and you're concerned, it does count for that. So that is one good thing. So the test has been out there and it's been available since about the 1st of June. Right now, I'm just finishing up what I'm calling test the test. We've actually had about 6 people take it. 5 people have passed. One person has not passed. Unfortunately, I think that was more of a language issue because it was person English was not their first language. So the test is going well. It's roughly 90 questions. That it's a random 60 of those 90 questions. Actually, it might be 120, but it's 60 questions you're going to get, and you're going to get 90 minutes to take the test. It's all done virtually. It can be done from anywhere. And then we have to do it with what we call a proctor. So let me go actually through and explain the whole thing. So what it is scheduling the exam. As of right now, I am the sole person that is scheduling the exam. So it's got to coordinate with me. And you can take the test and or you're entitled to take the test and or purchase the test in one of two ways. Since it's the test is allowed to be done through the IIUG. If you went to IIUG World last year, virtual event, you are owed a virtual test, and you are owed, a session to take the test through September 30th. So you can take it there, or you can purchase the test for $150 at the IIG website and take it. I actually believe there was a short version of the URL. I thought it was iig.org/certification, but apparently not. This is maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was. You can purchase the test for $150 and to have 90 days from the day you purchase it to take the test. It does take about a week and a half to schedule the test from the time you send me an email, because there's only about one or two done a day on weekdays. And so it's a schedule situation. And right now we're backed up a tiny bit, just so you know. So I've got a little backup on the schedule, and I'm scheduling it right now into about the end of July. So once you have either purchased a test or you can have your test prior to the exam, you're going to get an email instructions. You're going to get two emails. One is going to be an email to accept a regular standard invite for a WebEx, just similar to the one you've got for this call here with WAG. Let me just take a sip of water. The second email is going to be from the system that actually does the test. And it's going to ask you to sign up, create one of those, another login pesty account somewhere in the world. It's an IBM system. It's actually an IBM system. I don't even believe it's an IBM URL, but it's going to go out there and it sends you an email and you're going to create an account. You can do that, create that account prior to the time you're going to take the test. So once you schedule, you're going to get the WebEx invite, accept that. The second email to schedule, to create the account. And so you'll create an account and then you just sit back and wait till your test time is there. The third email is just a confirmation of the second email you're going to get. So, once you create the account, it's going to say just, hey, thank you for setting it up. Please check your spam. Make sure you've got the third email. Apparently, some of the people that third email is going to their spams. So what you need to do, this is a little bit of an interesting situation when you take the test. So the test is an open book test, but it's not an open room test. So you can have a computer, you can sit there and Google, you can have manuals, you can have anything you want, but you can't have, if any of those, remember the old thing about who wants to be a millionaire? You can't have phone a friend. So you can't have anybody else in the room with you. You can't go calling someone and looking and ask them the answer to the question, but you're entitled anything else, Google, manuals, anything else you want, just no phone a friend. So why this is the reason why there's two computers or two devices. So one of them is for the proctor to actually watch you. So this was got to have a device. This device is simply going to have, this is the one you're going to use WebEx on. You're going to use WebEx and you're going to have the camera on you, and the person who's proctoring the exam is going to sit there and watch you. That's it. Make sure nobody's in the room. You're not asking questions of anybody else, and so forth, and just literally watching you take a test. Also, it's as during the test, it was a situation where someone had to yell, "Help! I don't know what's going on," or "I don't know what to do." But that's all the proctor can do. The proctor can't help you with any parts of the test. The second computer, it's simply a computer or device, a tablet. This one can actually be a tablet that you're going to take the test on. It's a very simple web browser is needed, and you're going to take the test on that second computer. Okay, so the first one, like I said, is the important one. It's got to have a camera, it's got to have a microphone, and just so you can communicate with the proctor who's watching over you. The second one needs no camera, it needs no microphone. Just going to take the test on the second one. So it's like you're being monitored in a room. That's all that first one is. Time of the exam, you're going to schedule your time. You're going to use the link that came in that WebEx link, just like this meeting or this WAG event. And you're just going to say, get the test, and you're going to sit there and it's going to say, I'm ready to go. Proctor's going to say, go. And when the proctor says go, now I'm going to give you a few tips. Okay. You have 90 minutes to take the test. Okay. I suggest you use a little clock on your phone. All our phones, if we have smartphones, have a 90-minute countdown timer, either 90 minutes up or 90 minutes back, and just make sure you set that timer. There's no timer on the screen when you're taking the test that says you have, 88 minutes when you first start left to go. It's literally going to just stop dead in its tracks. So just make sure you're cognizant of that fact in your time with the 90 minutes. That did happen to one of my people in testing the test. So these are the things I've learned in taking the test with people and the problems. Like I said, during the exam, you can use books, notes, web searches, Google, anything you want. But remember, you only have 90 minutes. You can't go look up every question. You won't make it. If you're going to go look up every question, if you think you're going to outsmart and you're the fastest Googler on earth, it's not going to happen. Okay. And like I said, you just can't contact another individual. So you can't pay Tom to take the test with you either. Although I heard, Tom's going to start a service, right, Tom? So please note the exam is only available in English. You may use online translation. We did have, that's the reason I told you one person didn't pass the test. I believe it was a translation issue, but there's nothing I can do about it this time. It's only available in English. I'm really confident the 90-minute time is sufficient because we haven't had any issues except the one person with the English translation. Um, the only thing I've been taking notes as people have been testing the test. Now, I have to be honest with you, I haven't seen the test. So I know there's a screen out there when you go from question to question to question that you're going to have it's either save, continue, next, something like that out there. Okay. Once you go forward, so say you're in a browser, nothing to do with a test right now. You go in a browser and anything out there you use a browser for in the world, and you go to another link in your browser, you can't use the back button. The back button won't work. So just be aware of that. Once you go to the next question, you can't go back. That is other drawback, I've seen two major drawbacks of the test. Like I said, one is, well, three. One is the English only, one is the fact that you can't go back, and one is the fact of the 90-minute timer. So the 90-minute timer, where I gave you a solution, just have your phone. The English, I'm sorry. Hopefully, we will get it translated if you need it in another language. And this next thing, it's just the app we're using internally that we're doing it. You can't go back. So be careful. 90 minutes. There's no warning. Watch your time. Watch your cell phone, whatever you see need to do. And all I can say is good luck. Does anybody have any questions? Is anybody out there hearing me? Am I
We
on a
are.
live? I just want to make sure I didn't talk for the last 5 minutes to air.
Nope, no, we're hearing you. Don't worry. One of us would have texted you had that not worked. But really do appreciate this information getting out there about the test. Hopefully, especially the information on those that attended IEG World will be helpful. If there's anything you want to share, have us share out from the WAG, you get a statement or any other
You
information,
can,
I'm happy to put up on the website.
yep, you can share this presentation, and I'm gonna go check on the other screen here, and I'll let you know up on the screen here if it is iig.org/certification, if that short link does work. Now, one of the advantages of this presentation is the fact I can go back. So if you want to take a screenshot of that screen, because that's the important one right there, because everything I just said is explained on that bottom link of iig.org/events. Um, Let me just look on another computer here to see if iig.org/certification work. iiug.org/certification. When we had that working. And it is working.
Excellent.
iig.org/certification does work. So it pretty much gives you the same thing that's on that page here. No, it does get, it's the exact same thing. So all you need is iig.org/certification. That will give you this information in front of you and basically this whole presentation.
All right,
So
I appreciate that.
now,
So
one
yeah,
thing I will say to you, Tom, is this: we could figure out a way when you guys get back in person to do an in-person event that maybe we can show up and do certification live. You don't really need that much because you only need the one computer if we do it live. So maybe we can look forward to doing, who knows, by the end of the year, do it live. That's a thought for you guys. I actually have um, two local user groups that actually in the world of DB2. We did it in Croatia, and there was another one, wherever it was. I don't remember where it was, but we can actually do it. The advantage of it being done now with under the user groups is the fact that this is the good part, or the great part, is it can be done at local regional user group events, which is really good for you guys. So we can actually set it up, and we don't need the two computers or anything because someone can actually show up and do it. So that's it. That's all. And I'll say, don't be scared. The test is actually not that hard. So, wow, I see a lot of names here.
yep. Got a lot of people on here and a lot of interest in it, and it's appreciated. Um, so really appreciate that updated information on the exam. For those of you that may not, from those of you that have the version 11 or any of the 11 exams or 12, it's helpful to have. It's make sure that you can show your expertise with Informix. Um, Always looks good, and it's a helpful thing. To make sure you show your employer that here's why going to these IEG events is worthwhile. Look at this. You can show this to the higher ups that you have the real Informix experts here. Plus just show it off. So recommend everyone that went to IEG World take this. Everyone that did not go to IEG World, pay the money and take it. Absolutely worth having.
Exactly. It's a great resume builder thing. Item on there to say that you're certified in the product that you're using or you claim to be using. So
So yeah, I wasn't going to say that because I don't want anybody to run with this and say, hey, you should be updating your resume. So,
Well,
but
but even then, if it's going to the boss and you go to the boss and it's review time too. Hey, what'd you do the past year? I got certified.
yep,
All that helps. So
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. We do have a question for you, Stuart. Any updates on the 2022 IIUG World?
not me who does that. It's not. I'm not. That's not me. So I can't.
Okay.
I don't know anything. I do, but I'm not saying anything. That's up
Yeah,
for
no,
that.
I understand. It's the IUG, doing that. So I think Lester is the only IG board member on it.
Well, I interviewed, but
Rhonda's on here too, but
Oh, okay.
I would just add, in about 2 weeks, there should be some news about that.
Oh, fantastic.
is there question? I don't see the questions here. Why am I not
And
seeing
if you
questions?
look in the chat,
Ah, my chat button was covered over by my share button. Oh, okay. Got
yeah,
it.
WebEx design.
Yeah, there's a board meeting next week, and right after that, we should have an announcement about it.
Yeah, actually, we have a new version of WebEx inside of IBM that's actually kind of cool. It does on-the-fly translations. So if I was speaking Boston English, you guys would get real English translation, I guess. So I joke with Shri because, he speaks Canadian Indian English. So I just saw him. He was on here. He left because he knew I showed up. So, yep, we're having a meeting next week and hopefully we'll figure out what's going on. So it's just as Lester has said.
Okay, great. So
There's another question that just came in
yep.
that I think you answered, Stuart, in the slides, but might be good to say it. If you paid for IIUG World last year, what do you need to do for the certification?
Send me an
And
email.
that's what I thought.
Said
Here,
all of this is send me an email. I then get the email from you. I then go to the IIG and I said, was this person an attendee? IIG turns around and sends me back and says, yes, they were. No, they weren't. If it's a yes, then we'll set up a time to take the test. If it's a no, then I'm just going to send back and say, sorry, IIG says you've got to clear it with them that you weren't an attendee. One other question I'll answer. If you were a speaker at the IIG World event, you do not get a test. Only if you are a paid attendee, because they actually have to turn around and pay a few, as Gary Ben Israel says, a few shekels to the IIG. So if you didn't pay them, they can't pay us because it's a little tiny bit of a testing fee. Not much, it's a few bucks. So that's how they can do it for free with the test. I mean, free with an admission. Any other questions? No other questions. Okay.
All right. Thank you,
I'm gonna
Stuart.
stay around for a while. I'm a little tired and under the weather. I got in from an IBM event last night at 2:30 in the morning, and I'm sipping my I'm really sipping coffee in the background. And Shri was at the event, but Shri actually went home last night early to get sleep. See, one of us did, but the other one didn't. He was the good little boy. So I'm gonna go on mute and listen to you guys for the rest of it. So
All right,
thank you.
great.